Hello, I hope you're well and welcome back to Hanoween. This is going to be a charity shop book haul. I went to the two charity shops that I love and adore. That vlog is up on the channel showing you what different kind of books those charity shops sell. They sell modern, classic, loads of books, and they're just the right books that I'm interested in as well. So I've got loads of books, I'm going to show you them. First up, I have to say I have taken down the Hanoween bookshelf. So the arch is still on the top, the lights are here. I had a chaotic meltdown last night that my books couldn't breathe. So I came in here and I was looking at, you know, that Halloween tinsel I had? It had like dust on it. And my bookshelf is right next to, I have like an open fireplace. So obviously from the chimney, like sometimes dust comes down. So some dust was on the thing and then I touched the Halloween tinsel and it sprinkled dust into the books. It was like a thing of nightmare. And I was like, oh no, oh no. And then I realised that like some of the other stuff was quite sharp, like the pine cones. And I was like, what if it ruins a book? I just ripped it down like an animal, tore down the whole Halloween stuff, took down the fairy lights. I've put them back up because I think they do actually look really nice. And I've got a little like Halloween in a jar, like pumpkin in a jar there. So that's my bit of Halloween, but I just thought, no, they can't breathe. They need space. They need oxygen. You know, these are the books that I love and adore, so I didn't want them to be damaged any kind of way. Like if it was in book hell, you know, the cupboard down there, like I don't care because I didn't really enjoy those books. But these are books that I know I'm going to reread and I love, so I didn't want them getting damaged. You should have seen me last night. Like I was just like like panicking, like I was trying to save the life of the books. Like I was like, let me resuscitate you. I lost control. So I took down all the Halloween. I just feel like they look better now. They can breathe, they've got space. We did Halloween for long enough on the bookshelf. I've got my decorations just around my room instead, my front room, but I didn't want to upset my books, so that's why I have ripped down Halloween. Of course, we are still in the season of Halloween. We're still in Hanoween, but I like to think like my books are like almost people. I'm sounding insane, I know, but I just want them to be able to breathe. I want to be able to keep them for my whole lifetime, the ones that I want to reread. I don't want them to come damaged. Oh my god, a flood. Oh god, whenever I see like people some kind of like damage to their house, like flooding or something, I'm like, oh my god, they're books. Like everyone's out safe, they're alive, they're okay. What would you want to take? The books. Like I've got Lola, I've got Dom, we're fine. Oh my god, but please, I need, no, I can't even talk about it. It's a thing of nightmares. So I didn't want them to get damaged. So that's where they're like this now. But I think they look quite nice with the fairy lights on. I think they're quite cute. So I'm going to get into the book haul. First up, I found this book, which I saw, do you remember a few years ago, this was all over BookTube. This is, it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize in 2018. And it's called Everything Under, and it's by Daisy Johnson. It was all over BookTube, and this is about, it's been 16 years since Gretel last spoke to her mother, and then she gets a phone call and it reminds her of her mum and she has to reconnect with her mum, and then it's about different things. So wild years flooding back, the secret language she and her mother invented, the boy, the creature underwater, the strange boy, all these different things from her life come back to her, and she's kind of revisiting them whilst reconnecting with her mother for some reason. It doesn't say why. I'm really interested in this. I always loved the cover. I remember when I saw it on other people's channels and I just really loved the cover. I think it's so beautiful. I love anything to do with coral. You know, coral. Like what? I don't know why, I just love coral. It's so beautiful. And when people scuba dive and they see all the different like colours of not the fish but the plants, I just love it. You know, I have a planted aquarium in my house for my fish. I love all the plants. I feel like they look magical. I'm looking at it now. It looks like magical with all the plants growing underwater. I just adore it. So I've always loved this cover. So it was a cover buy, I'll be honest. The books were 2 books for 99p in one of the shops. And then the other shops was 2 books for £1. I liked the cover. That's why I got it. But hopefully I'll like, oh, inside as well. It carries on. Love it. I then got a Mary Higgins Clark. This is the only Mary Higgins Clark in this book haul. I did a book haul when I went on holiday. It's up on the channel where I got a few Mary Higgins Clark's books and talk about them. So this is actually a Christmas Mary Higgins Clark that I've never heard of. It's called Silent Night, A Christmas Tale You'll Never Forget. So this is about a young mother is going to visit her husband who's ill, and as she's watching a street performer, it's Christmas time, her son sees that she gets pickpocketed by a... Why can I not talk? Pickpocketed gets pickpocketed by a woman, and he decides that without telling his mum, he's going to go after the woman. He's going to get back something from the woman because it's something really sentimental, and it's something that he believes is going to save his dad's life, and he decides that he's just going to follow this woman and get back his thing that she took from his mother, and doesn't tell his mum, and then
the story begins.
I don't want to know too much about Mary Higgins Clark books because they're thrillers. I like that it's kind of like the thief forever ... is how it ends the blurb. I like that because I feel like you can be really spoiled for books if they put too much on the back. That's my pet peeve also with films, when the trailer just shows you the whole entire film in 3 minutes. It's like, what's the point of me going to see the film? And the same with books, when they tell you everything about it. Or my real pet peeve is when you would read the introduction to a book, and the introduction's like, so obviously when he kills Claire, that's a shocking moment within the book that you don't see coming. It's like, what? Why would you put that into the introduction? What's the point of me reading? Oh, it just riles me, as you can probably tell. On to the next book. This is a thriller. It's translated from German. It's called Bunker by Andrea Maria. Why can I not speak to her? I'm like, Andrea Maria Schnenzel. And this is about a woman is kidnapped and then taken to a bunker. And then whatever is going to ensues. It's a thriller. I thought it sounded very interesting. This one I don't know anything about, but the cover and the title of it just intrigued me. This is Elizabeth Bowen, The House in Paris. And also I do really like these editions. I haven't done a video on these editions. These editions are the Penguin 20th Century Classics. And I just really like, it's like a Tiffany blue, isn't it? Really gorgeous. I have quite a few of these now. So House in Paris is about two children. One is waiting, they're strangers to each other, the children. They're waiting in a house in Paris. Leopold for his mother, who is never seen, and Henrietta is waiting for a train. Upstairs an old woman is dying and her daughter flutters hopelessly around her, and slowly exposing the apprehensions of the children and the reasons for their presence in the house. Ooh, I have no idea what this is going to be. Is it going to be a thriller? Is it going to be a drama? I have no idea. It's going to be like a psychological book, I think it's going to be. I'm excited for this. I just really loved the simplicity of the cover, that it's a painting and there's just like a chair in an empty room. I don't know why. I just loved it. I thought it was a very beautiful cover. So cover buy again, yes. And I don't feel we should be ashamed for cover buys, because on BookTube people are like, oh, people that just buy books for the covers, like, oh god, how superficial. Well, teams go into designing book covers, actually. Huge teams of people going to designing one book covers for you to pick that book up. So it's actually, you know, I'm not going to have to justify myself. I'm kind of thinking now, like, yeah, that is kind of stupid to buy a book on the cover. But I am interested in reading this one as well. It's just the cover is, it's just me. I just like it. Next up, I have a weird one for me. This is by the author of Fetal Attraction. So kind of like a play on Fatal Attraction. Kathy Letty. And this is called Girls Night Out. And it's 12... Why can I not speak? Girls Night Out. I'm like Eliza Doolittle today. Like, ow, ow, ow. And he's like, it's not an ow, it's a... Oh my god, if you're on my Patreon, I can't even talk about the video uploaded. I recently, this month, uploaded a video of me singing the songs from My Fair Lady. It was like My Fair Lady in 3 minutes, and it was me singing the songs. You know I can't sing. Like, I thought I could sing Up in Flames, Up in Flames. It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, listening back to it. I can't believe I even uploaded it onto YouTube. But anyway, it's me singing that, and I take it so seriously. Oh Lord. Anyway, this is about 7 friends who get together for a girls' night, and there are only 2 things wrong with men, 12 brilliant funny stories, the baldy secrets women tell each other when men aren't around. No idea. This is kind of like Sex in the City, I suppose, but I've never read Sex in the City. I do own the book, and I've never read a kind of chick litty book like this, so I thought I would give it a go. Then this one, The Beautiful Ones. Silvia Moreno Garcia, stunning cover. I know we're not supposed to buy books on the covers, but really love this cover. Can someone come up with like a good reason, a good defense for me as to why you should buy a book on the cover? Because I'm like, oh, like you shouldn't if you're not gonna, like, if you're not interested in the story. But every book that I own, I am gonna read at some point. I don't unhaul books. I don't like to get rid of books. I am gonna read them all. But come up, say like come up with a good reason and then I can just use it in my videos as my excuse because I can't come up with one. So this book is about a girl who wants to join a society which is the beautiful ones, and she really wants to get into the society, but she has telekinetic powers that she can't keep under wraps, and people are starting to call her a witch, and her brother's kind of helping her with her sister-in-law to get her into this society, but she can't keep hold of her telekinetic powers. Then a man comes to town and he has the exact same powers as her and sees that actually she's not a witch like everyone's calling her. That's all I know about this, but it sounds interesting to me, like a darker Matilda. It's not going to be anything like Matilda. Next up I have one that I've actually seen in bookshops and wanted to pick up. This is The Sailor Who Fell from Grace with the Sea. This is by Mishima, and this was originally translated from Japanese. Now it's about savage 13-year-old boys reject the adult world. One of their mum has an affair with a man who they all kind of idolise this man. They then think he's too soft and romantic and they become disillusioned. And I have no idea what it's about, but it's always kind of intrigued me when I've seen it in shops, been like, oh, that does sound a bit interesting because it's odd. And then it says their retribution is deliberate and horrifying. So I think I've seen this around BookTube as well, so I'm interested to read this. And then I have a book that I've been interested in for quite a while. This is Truman Burcote's In Cold Blood. Now, I have read Breakfast at Tiffany's by him, and I wasn't massively impressed by Breakfast at Tiffany's. I love the Audrey Hepburn film, and I wonder if it's because I love the film so much, and the film is so different than the book, that I just couldn't get into the book. I don't know what it was, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. But this is real true crime book is what it is. So he decided to reinvestigate a 1959 murder of a canvas farmer, his wife and children, and then he decided to go into the killing and the investigation and write a whole book about it himself, which is very interesting because Breakfast at Tiffany's is very kind of light and it's a comedy and there is a bit of sadness in it, but it's really kind of whimsical, and the character of Holly Golightly is a complete kind of hippie and free spirit, and then for him to decide to do like true crime, a heavy true crime book. But I'm very interested to read this. And then this one I didn't even know was in existence. I haven't read the first book, but I didn't know this was in existence. The Second Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. So the first Jungle Book, which I haven't read yet, there's another one. I never heard of the Second Jungle Book. I'm sorry, I don't think there was a Jungle Book 2 made by Disney. I've never heard of the Second Jungle Book. And I like Rudyard Kipling. Just So Stories is one of my favourite books. So, what? Why have we never heard of the Second Jungle Book? Has anyone seen the live action? Is so good. The live action Jungle Book, oh my god, the boy in it is fantastic because he's the only actor in it because it's all CGI. So Bill Murray's one of the, I love Bill Murray. Bill Murray's one of the characters in it, he's the bear, Baloo, and the boy was just acting to no one, acting to CGI, and he's such a fantastic actor. Thought the CGI was really beautiful. Sometimes I'm not a huge fan of CGI. It kind of creeps me out a little bit, but I thought it was beautifully done. I loved it so much. But the Second Jungle Book, I'm sorry, I didn't know this existed, but I'm excited to read this. I love it when it's like come from something, so it's obviously come from a school or someone, I don't know. I like it when it has like that bit of history in it, and when it's an ex-library book and it has stamps in the front and then you can see the dates that different people took the back book out. I just really like that. I think it's because I'm nosy, so I like to like read people's names. I'm like, oh, on this date this person read it. I just like it. And then the last book is a Graham Greene, which I've never read anything from him. This is The End of the Affair. And this is about Maurice and a woman called Sarah have a flourishing relationship. Everything's going well. It's during the turbulent times of the London Blitz. And then all of a sudden she ends it and she goes away. And that's it. He doesn't know where she's gone. He doesn't know what's happened. They then somehow, after a chance meeting, rekindle his love for her, and this is 2 years after she just kind of ghosted him and never spoke to him again, and he decides to hire a private detective to track her down and work out what's going on with her, what's going on with her life. And so it's about love turning into obsession. I thought that sounded very interesting, very up my street. You know, I love affairs, betrayal, not in real life obviously, but I think it's because it's so far away from my life. It's so interesting to me, the idea that you would have an affair, a betrayal, the idea that you could love to the point where you hire a private investigator. It's just so salacious, isn't it? So I'm very excited to read that. If you have read any of the books that I mentioned, then let me know. Say, Hannah, oh, this is the book that you need to read first. This is the one that's the best. Because the American King's Clark, I know I'm saving that for December, but the rest of them I'm just ready to like start now, start straight away. I'm terrible. Is anyone else like that? When you buy books, you want to read them first, even though you've got a shelf of unread books? I'm like, no, the newbies. I am going to end this video here. I'm doing a video every single day in October for Hanoween. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to join me, leave a comment down below, and I will see you tomorrow for another Hanoween video. Also, PS, I hope you're okay with the bookshelf, because I kind of thought, oh, like some people said they loved the bookshelf and thought it was really nice, but then I was like, I don't think people care that much, to be honest. Like, I don't think people are that invested in the bookshelf that like, I'm gonna have a bad day now that Hannah's taken it down. Like, I don't think you're that invested in anything that I do on this channel in that way that you'd be personally offended. You're all like very cool. So yeah, I did think, oh no, I've kind of ruined like Hanoween, it's over, I've ruined it. And I was like, get a grip, it's a little bit of tinsel. So this is the new Hanoween bookshelf. I hope you like it, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.